Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be continuing the discussion on Bach Flower Essences and their practical uses. Continuing with their use on ailments. Today we'll look at the ailments that these essences can help with, continuing with the letter P. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists, so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Pain. For the basic treatment of pain, use agrimony. Pain is increased by tension and lessened by relaxation. Agrimony functions to decrease tension and should be combined with the following essences according to the condition. For all emergencies, use rescue remedy. If the pain is unbearable, use cherry plum, elm, and white chestnut. For pain with a tendency towards self-pity, use chicory. For pain with restlessness, use impatience. For pain after an injury, use Star of Bethlehem. For pain with contrariness and an aversion to socializing and participating, use water violet. Panic, rash behavior. The more we avoid consciously facing our fear-related problems, the less we are able to deal with them when we are confronted with them unexpectedly and directly. We lose the conscious control of our thoughts and actions. The ever-present subconscious fear rises, and it creates in us a primitive, animalistic instinct to flee. When this panicky, occasionally very aggressive impulse to flee confronts an equally strong inhibition related to societal taboos, the result is a severe inner conflict that negates all of our strength and makes us unable to act. We suffer paralysis from fear or horror and let the disaster simply wash over us. Such catastrophes seldom come at us all at once with full force, but rather by degrees. We can help diffuse or avoid them by consciously facing the little everyday shocks and surprises, and thus becoming aware of our own weaknesses. This is where Bach Flower Essences enter the picture. They can also often help when panic has already set in. For panic and rash behavior as a result of suppression, use agrimony. When we suppress anything that is unpleasant or causes anxiety, we run the risk of suddenly becoming overcome by it. For panic and rash behavior due to vague fears, use aspen. When we avoid our fears, we merely displace them. They remain indecipherable, morphing into our psyches, and they can often cause sudden, inexplicable, and severe panic that seems to come from out of the blue. Aspen can be used to prevent vague, anxious feelings and premonitions, and also to treat sudden onset of panic and fear. For panic and rash behavior due to a traumatic experience, use rock rose. When aspen is used to treat panic due to internal causes, rock rose is helpful for panic that is triggered by external factors, such as a catastrophe. In combination with Star of Bethlehem, it can strengthen the psyche's defenses. For panic and rash behavior with the danger of going over the edge, use cherry plum and rock rose. For panic and rash behavior with unconsciousness, use clematis and rock rose. For panic and rash behavior due to stress, use elm and rock rose. For panic and rash behavior with panicky hyperactivity, use impatience and rock rose. For panic and rash behavior caused by fear, use mimulus and rock rose. For panicky worries, use red chestnut and rock rose. For panic and rash behavior making us unable to act, use rock rose and scleranthus. For panic and rash behavior due to psychic trauma, use rock rose and Star of Bethlehem. For panicky fear leaving us desperate, use rock rose and sweet chestnut. Partner problems, distance, contact problems, heartbreak. Partnership problems due to insincerity or artificiality. Use agrimony. Honesty is the most important element in any relationship. Our honesty can bring about trust and freedom, and these in turn make it possible for us to open our hearts. It's a fundamental element of relationships and provides a stable foundation, but it is no law that can be followed by the letter. We don't need to burden our partners with every miserable, petty detail of every minuscule problem. We don't need to point out to our partners that every personal weakness or trivial error. It's perfectly natural that we don't lay all our cards on the table. Another thing entirely, however, are the unnecessary, petty little lies and hypocrisies, the false politenesses, and the poses that can lend a permanent air of artificiality to a relationship. Even if they are not done with malicious intent and are the result of old habits or childhood fears, they can sabotage an atmosphere of trust and intimacy, which is so essential to a loving partnership. The partners become actors and the relationship develops into a comedy, drama, or tragedy. Agrimony will develop in us the desire and the courage for honest, natural behavior. Partnership problems due to acquisitiveness or a craving for love. Use chicory. Excessive love is actually a form of greed, of acquisitiveness, and it is repellent. When one partner tries to make the other dependent by excessive attention or doting, it often has the opposite of the intended effect. It triggers a more or less unconscious repulsion. Love can arise only voluntarily. Partnership problems due to dreaminess. Use clematis and honeysuckle. A partnership takes place in the present time. When we live in the past, honeysuckle, or in the future, we don't pay sufficient attention to what's going on around us, and we endanger our relationship. Partnership problems due to obsessive cleanliness. Use crabapple. Life is hardly a clean undertaking, and an excessive need for cleanliness can muck up any relationship. Furthermore, when sexuality is a cause of revulsion, we can never be content. Partnership problems due to an excessive need for recognition. Use heather. When we use and abuse our partners in order to provoke their admiration, it is a serious detriment to the relationship. Partnership problems due to rage and irritability. Use holly. As for abusive relationships in which both partners can express only their aggressions, an unfriendly, irritating demeanor destroys every relationship over time. Partnership problems due to impatience. Use impatience. Excessive impatience or haste prevents us from relating to our partner. Impatient people are often lonely. Partnership problems due to feelings of inferiority. Use larch. We accept each other at face value. To feel inferior to our partner is to undermine mutual respect, and to enjoy seeing our partners humiliated is a sign of immaturity. Larch can strengthen our feelings of self-worth and enable us to feel proud of ourselves, regardless of our weaknesses and shortcomings. Partnership problems due to exhaustion. Use olive. We can't relate to our partners when we are exhausted in the long term. The relationship becomes too strenuous because we're so exhausted that we can't even give ourselves the attention we need. Partnership problems due to guilt feelings. Use pine. Most bad partnerships continue because of the fear of a guilty conscience. We think that we will be guilty if we try to free ourselves. This kind of guilty thinking is often used by those who stand to profit from it, by a partner who uses it as a kind of emotional blackmail, and by society, which uses it to maintain order and the status quo. While this method can be effective in achieving a certain level of external societal or financial benefits, the people involved and their ability to love stand to lose the most in the end. The results are guilt feelings and hate. In fact, more relationships are held together out of hate and guilt than out of friendship and love. Partnership problems due to self-denial. Use rock water. People who concentrate on themselves, on disciplining or even denying themselves, are egocentric and mostly unable to devote attention to anyone else. Partnership problems due to negative experiences. Use Star of Bethlehem. It is only natural that we have negative as well as positive experiences with people. Such negative experiences can be learned experiences that bring us great insight, but they can also undermine our optimism and trust in other people, and our ability to engage in a harmonious partnership. Star of Bethlehem can restore our divine, trusting inner natures. Partnership problems caused by missionary tendencies. Use vervain. The habit of forcing our thoughts on our partners, or of believing that what is good for us is good for our partners, is unpleasant and can drive the mate away. Each of us defends, even at the cost of unhappiness, their unique nature because it is what makes us at peace with ourselves and helps us find our own happiness. Partnership problems due to intolerance. Use vine. Love is not possible without tolerance. Tolerance means not just being forced to put up with our partner's faults, but understanding them as part of the whole, and if not understanding, at least accepting them lovingly. Vine is for the potential domestic tyrants who have difficulty doing this and who can tolerate in their partners only what they can accept in themselves. Partnership problems due to loneliness. Use water violet. Excessive isolation inhibits the development of relationship between partners. We don't need to spend every minute of every day in each other's company, but a certain amount of joy in spending time together is a prerequisite for a happy relationship. Partnership problems due to frustration. Use wild oat. When we can't find any meaning in life, or when we don't know what we are after or which path we should take, we are often frustrated and also unpleasant company. Some partnerships can be ruined in this situation. Water violet helps us find our goals, sometimes even together with our partners. Partnership problems due to lack of initiative or resignation. Use wild rose. Wild rose helps when a partnership is threatened because we have no interest in life. Partnership problems due to bitterness. Use willow. A good partnership lives or dies based on our readiness to be understood and forgiving of personal weaknesses. Willow prevents us from becoming too bitter when we are disappointed. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, and so I've decided to create several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.